pick up some stuff from Melbourne, see these mates and go, hey fellas, you got to hear the German Shepherds, right? And they'll go, wow, right, put it on, they all liked it.
Yeah.
It's just a little discovery, something to talk about.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah. I mean, I meet some people early 20s and I'm thinking, how do they know all this stuff? Well, they read about it, which is, it's good that they're keen, but they've read all about it on the net. They just tap into it, where...
What's better, reading about it on the net or hearing
Sorry?
about it? You would have heard about it in smoky rooms, I guess.
Oh, you just take a punt and see something looks interesting, give it a listen, particularly when I went interstate. But that was the fun of it, you just found something good and tell all your mates about it, so sit around and listen to it. So that was good. There was a lot of good fun like that.
What stuff did you discover during that period?
Oh, I used to go regularly to Melbourne every year from '79. Every year, took in the footy, did the rounds of the shops, picked up a lot of good things, bought some new stuff, a lot of second hand. I mean, when I first went to Melbourne, I thought I'd never heard of these bands that didn't come to Adelaide. Didn't come to Adelaide. Now me and a mate of mine particularly got good mates with, it's called Pipe Imported Records, just off Swanston Street. And the guy himself now is still involved with music. He runs a distribution company, the Modern Invasion Music. He distributes all the metal to the Southern Hemisphere. I think. There's a little sticker on the back, Modern Invasion Music.
What's his name?
Daniel Janeko. Yeah, a Czechoslovakian background, I think he is. And we used to hang around with him in the shop, have a few beers after work. It's open till late, then we go off and have a few pots of beer. So he looked after us and we really got on really well.
You ever worked in a record shop?
Who, me? No.
Would you like to?
I guess so, yeah. The closest I have is sometimes standing for Rick for half an hour in the shop. Well, I've done the record fairs for about 10 years now.
Oh.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Rick got me started on that. Price for a box of records I picked up from, the usual garage sales and op shops. Took it from there, yeah, so I did really well. I really enjoyed the involvement,
Did you make a quid?
Yeah, well, yeah. Surprised it all adds up. Yeah.
How'd you go with the haggling? When it came from the point of view of selling?
Oh, what do you mean from customers? All right, I mean, it's like anything. Some people get a bit cheeky and want it for next to nothing, so you just don't worry about it,
What's the cheekiest sort of offer that you've had on a good record?
Oh, I can't remember now, but I'll give people a discount if they bought a few things, or 2 or 3. But I can't remember, but I sort of think it's good stock, someone's going to buy it, I don't need to sell it, there's no need to be. And I like to think my prices are pretty reasonable anyway, they're not over the top, so...
What's the most expensive record you've sold?
I sold a Rainbow Generator. It's an Australian band. Don't want anyone to know this because Adelaide's a bit small and people say, why didn't you sell it to me and all this sort of stuff. But it doesn't matter, I mean, it's only a record. And that was called Dance of the Spheres. They got 150 for that. I wouldn't know what it's worth now. This is about 8-9 years ago. It's probably worth easily double that now.
What's the most you paid for a record yourself?
Myself, for one single record, $93 for a double album.
What was that?
A band called Current 93. Double album.
Current 93, done in 1993.
Yeah, more than a coincidence, eh? They come out in the late 80s, I think, another band that was associated called Nurse with Wound. And a lot of their records only X amount made. And I've been collecting them as they come out. Most of them, they've done so much, both of those bands. They have a bit of a floating population, number of members. Well, Nurse with Wound is basically 2 people, then become just one with his guests all involved in the recording of. Yeah.
How did you buy his stuff originally?
How do you mean?
How'd you get hold of it?
What, these particular bands I'm talking about?
Was it mail order originally?
The song was my order, yeah, from this guy in Melbourne. But I always bought up big when I saved up and bought up big when I went to Melbourne.
Because
And
Melbourne...
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sometimes I ended up, I run out of money, but Daniel, because he knew me, I'd take it home with me and pay him later by cheque, so credit rating's still pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I told him, listen, you cleaned me out, you know? He said, don't worry, send me the money later, so, which I did, so,
Yeah.
of course. But,
How many years were you a customer there?
good 10 years plus.
Mm-hmm.
He'd keep us in the shop, we wanted to get off to the footy, MCG, you know, get across. But it was good, it was good. The guy I looked after is a really nice bloke.
Mm.
Yeah.
Were the shops better in Melbourne than were in Adelaide at the time?
Well, yes, in that way, where Melbourne being more international city, that I'm not interested in the rivalries or whatever. But I did put, for random music, I put the guy on to Daniel in Melbourne to bring some stuff over. I said, I'll buy it here in Adelaide. And that stuff went well. He's gone now. But Big Star definitely is a good shop.
How long ago did you meet Rick?
Rick, about 20 years ago. I used to see Rick at record fairs and stuff and chat to him a bit, and then come down the port. Him and his mate started a shop on Commercial Road in the same site here, but a little bit more down that way. Then he set up his own. And this is a good 15 years ago, I think, Rick. Yeah. Yeah, so Rick used to mainly do record fairs, but he used to do heaps of garage sales that go all on the coast, right from, you know, Larg, Semaphore, right up to Brighton, all that way, and Combe, all the garage sale.
What's the record of his that he's got at a garage sale that you've most admired?
Pardon me, my mate finishes his tea, it's a bit dry, but well, I like that Mirkwood, that's for sure. Lots of stuff really. Too many to mention, I think. I just. Well, he played me. There's a copy there. A guy called Julian J. Severin, Waiters of the Darts, and this particular guy's put out some. Well, he's written some novels, fantasy novels. That's a really interesting concept album. That impressed me. But at the time, I was going more the music of the moment, the 80s. I got to like the Residents, band called Chrome, and all that grunge stuff like, bit of Pearl Jam, but more so Butthole Surfers, Big Black, that sort of stuff I got right into. Yeah. And I met many people involved in bands in Adelaide. Adelaide had some great bands in the late 80s.
Who were they?
King Snake Roost, Lizard Train, the Primevals, the terrific band. I didn't mind some of the Triffids, Go-Betweens, I didn't mind that, some nice stuff there. And we've seen a few bands that come over there, they call it Psychobilly, Ku Klux Frankenstein, the Wide Boys, because I was involved with 3D in the 80s, and they'd have a number of live to air sort of things, and also gigs that they promoted.